What if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 1967 dime has been linked to sales approaching $19,000 under the right circumstances? Most people would spend it without a second thought. But hidden among millions of identical-looking coins are a handful of rare mistakes and exceptional survivors that have turned pocket change into serious collector money. Before you check your coin jar, there's something important you need to know about the 1967 dime that makes this story even more fascinating. The year 1967 was anything but normal for American coinage. Coin shortages had become a national concern. Collectors were pulling coins from circulation, silver prices were rising, and the government was looking for ways to keep enough coins flowing through the economy. To discourage hoarding, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic decision. For several years, including 1967, coins were produced without mint marks. That means you won't find the usual identifying letters on regular circulation strike dimes from that year. As a result, millions of Americans handled 1967 dimes without realizing they came from one of the most unusual periods in modern minting history. The coin itself features President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse. By 1967, Roosevelt dimes were already a familiar sight. But behind the scenes, production was happening at an incredible pace, and whenever production speeds increase, mistakes become more likely. That's where things get interesting. Before we look at the valuable errors, let's quickly understand the minting process. Large metal strips were fed into presses that punched out blank discs called planchets. Those blanks were cleaned, polished, and then struck between two dies carrying the coin's design. When everything worked perfectly, the result was a normal dime worth face value. But when a die cracked, shifted, doubled, or encountered foreign material, unusual coins were created. Most mistakes were caught and destroyed. A few escaped. Today, those survivors are what collectors hunt for. Let's begin with one of the most common but still collectible mistakes. A die crack occurs when the steel die develops a fracture after repeated use. Every coin struck afterward carries a raised line where the crack appeared. Some 1967 dimes show thin cracks running through. Roosevelt's portrait or across the reverse design. Small. Cracks might only bring $50 to $50. More dramatic examples with long, obvious cracks can sell for $100 to $300, and if the crack grows into a major retained cud or highly visible break, values can climb even higher. For most people, these lines look insignificant. For collectors, they're evidence of a minting die literally wearing out during production. Now the stakes start rising. An off-center strike happens when the blank planchet isn't properly positioned before being struck. Part of the design ends up missing while a blank crescent-shaped area remains visible. The amount of off-centering matters enormously. A slight 5% shift may sell for only $25 to $75, a dramatic 20% to 50% off-center strike that still shows the date can command $200 to $1,000 or more. Collectors particularly love examples where the date remains visible because it confirms the coin's identity. The more dramatic the appearance, the stronger the demand, and some 1967 examples are spectacular. This is one of the most talked about categories in coin collecting. A doubled die occurs during die creation, causing portions of the design to appear duplicated. The doubling may show up in letters, numbers, Roosevelt's profile, or design elements. The challenge is that true doubled dies are often confused with machine doubling, which is much less valuable. When genuine doubling is strong and easily visible, collectors take notice. Minor examples might sell between $75 and $250 strong. Authenticated double dies can reach $500 to $2,000 depending on visibility, rarity, and condition. The key word here is authentication. Collectors want proof that the doubling originated from the die itself. Imagine a small piece of grease, cloth fiber, metal shaving, or other debris getting between the die and the coin during striking. The result is known as a struck-through error. Instead of adding extra design, The obstruction prevents part of the design from forming properly. Some struck through. Errors appear as mysterious missing details. Others create unusual patterns that look almost impossible. Minor examples may bring $30 to $100 more dramatic struck through. Errors involving cloth impressions or large obstructions can sell for $200 to $800. Their appeal comes from the fact that everyone is unique. No two look exactly alike. Here's another fascinating mistake. Normally, a collar surrounds the coin during striking, giving it its final shape. If that collar is absent or malfunctioning, the coin can spread outward. Collectors call this a broad strike. A 1967 broad-struck dime often appears wider than normal with distorted rims. Depending on severity and eye appeal, values typically range from $50 to $400. The more dramatic the expansion, the more attention it receives from specialists. Before a coin is struck, the blank must be punched from a metal strip. Occasionally, the punching process overlaps a previous cut. The result is a curved section missing from the coin. This is known as a clipped planche. Small clips often sell for $20 to $75. Large, obvious clips can command $100 to $500 or more. Because the missing section is created before striking, collectors look for specific characteristics that confirm authenticity. Now we arrive at the factor that can transform a modest collectible into a headline-worthy coin. Condition: a circulated error coin may be worth a few $100s. The same error in superb condition can be worth several times more. Professional grading services evaluate preservation using numerical grades. The highest grade 1967 dimes are extraordinarily difficult to find because most entered circulation immediately. Tiny differences matter. Sharper details, cleaner surfaces, stronger luster, fewer marks. Each improvement pushes value higher. A rare error graded at the top of the scale may sell for many multiples of what a lower grade example brings. And that's how certain exceptional 1967 dimes have reached astonishing prices that seem impossible for a 10-cent coin. Most 1967 dimes are common. Most error dimes are worth modest premiums. But every so often, a remarkable combination appears. A significant mint error, outstanding preservation, professional certification, strong collector demand. When those factors align, prices can climb into the thousands. That's where stories of multi-thousand-dollar 1967 dimes originate. Not from ordinary circulation pieces, but from the rare survivors that combine scarcity, condition, and eye appeal in a way few coins ever do. So the next time a 1967 dime crosses your path, don't dismiss it as just another 10-cent coin. Look closely. Check for cracks, doubling, off-center strikes, clips, and unusual surface features. Because hidden among millions of ordinary dimes are a few extraordinary survivors that collectors still chase decades later. And somewhere, sitting unnoticed in a drawer, jar, or old collection, there may be a 1967 dime with a story and a value that nobody has discovered yet.